Now, the Nigerian government says it would welcome American assistance in fighting armed groups as long as its territorial integrity is respected. Well, that's after US President Donald Trump threatened military action in the country, accusing the government of failing to protect Christians there. Well, Nigeria is Africa's most populous country with nearly 240 million people. But years of conflict have left over 30 million facing acute food insecurity. Well, the country is divided between a Muslim majority in the north and a largely Christian population in the south. Jos City in the volatile Middle Belt has long been a flashpoint for violence. For more than a decade, Boko Haram has waged an insurgency in the northeast, forcing millions of people from their homes and leaving communities in crisis. Kimiebi Imomotimi Ebienfa is a spokesperson for Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He joins us now from Abuja. Good to have you with us. So I know that your government has released a statement saying it welcomes any joint action as long as it respects your country's territorial integrity. But let me ask you more specifically, would you accept unilateral US strikes in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for having me. The Nigerian government is willing to partner with our allies all over the world to assist us in fighting Boko Haram, to fight terrorist groups, to fight bandits. But it should be with the provision of assistance to the Nigerian military, but not unilateral strikes in our territory.
Okay, so that's very clear. You don't accept unilateral strikes on your territory. Is there any coordination ongoing right now between Nigeria and the US for joint military action?
We're engaging the US authorities. The recent statement from the United States government is the designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, which the Nigerian government is resisting. It would not be fair to designate us as a country of particular concern because of perceived killing of Christians in the country. We've continuously made our point clear that we acknowledge the fact that there are killings that have taken place in Nigeria, but those killings were not restricted to Christians alone. Muslims are being killed, traditional worshippers are being killed, Christians are being killed. The majority is not the Christian population. We are ready to work with partners to help us to fight the scourge of terrorism in the country, but not any passive action that will undermine the sovereignty of our country.
Let me ask you then your response to the assertion, as you might have heard, by the US president that Nigeria is allowing the killings of Christians. Is the Nigerian government allowing the killings of Christians?
That is not true. The killings is not sanctioned by the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government is seriously against that. The killing of any Nigerian in any part of the country is a loss to the country. So we are against that. We sympathize with families that have lost their loved ones, but we are not in support of killing of any Nigerian in any part of the country. These perpetrators of these killings are terrorist groups, Boko Haram, and other Al-Qaeda and ISIS affiliated groups that are perpetrating this crisis. We also have cases whereby we experience herders and farmers clashes, and all those scenarios normally sometimes lead to the loss of lives and property. Our military is doing their own best, trying to curtail the excesses. You could remember, maybe if you have been following the news of recent, the service chiefs in the country were changed, and the president, after the replacement and appointment of new service chiefs, gave a clear warning mandate to the new heads of the military to go after whoever that is responsible for causing havoc in the country. In the past 2 weeks, the military have made significant progress in curtailing the excesses of these criminal elements. Fine, we welcome support from our partners in assisting, providing assistance.
And ask you, though, the US president is saying the Nigerian government better move fast. Are you taking any new measures, any expedited measures to meet the demands of the US president when it comes to countering these killings?
Yes, we are trying our best because the killing of any Nigerian is a loss to our country. So we are trying our best to address that. And if it may surprise you to note that the president of Nigeria is a Muslim, but his wife is a Christian. Nigeria is one of the only countries in the world whereby in the family, the father might be a Christian, the mother might be a Muslim. Siblings might belong to different faiths and practicing it without any molestation or any attack by anybody. So we are a free and religious tolerant country, so we cannot sanction the killing of a particular group of people in the country. No, the government is not in support of that. And we do whatever it takes to protect our people.
Right.
We acknowledge the loss of life, but we are trying our best to make sure we put it to an end.
Let me jump in and ask you this. Are you worried about Donald Trump's threat to cut off all aid and assistance to Nigeria?
The United States government has been a key partner to Nigeria. So if there are plans to cut off it, definitely the impact will be there. But as a government, definitely we'll try our best to see how we'll cushion the effects of those conditions.
And very quickly, how accurate is talk of a particularly Christian genocide in Nigeria? On the 3rd of February 2020, the then Nigerian president said that the majority of Boko Haram victims are Muslims. Is it still your understanding that that is the case now, that the majority of Boko Haram victims are Muslims?
That is the case. The Boko Haram operate.
So is there a Christian genocide?
That part of the country. Not at all. There is no Christian genocide in Nigeria. Boko Haram operate mostly in the Muslims populated areas of the northeast. Bandits operate basically in the northwestern part of the country that is also populated by Muslims. So killings, there have been scenarios whereby worshippers in mosques have been killed in the country. We are not happy about that. We are not proud of what the security situation that we are passing through. But to go home with a narrative that the killing is targeted at Christians, no, it is not true. There is no Christian genocide in Nigeria.
All right. Thank you very much for coming and addressing those questions. Kimiebi Imomotimi Ebienfa, the Nigerian Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.